In a new young adult Star Wars spin-off book called Padawan, our favorite Jedi, Obi-Wan Kenobi, teases us with hints of his sexual orientation. The novel by Kirsten White was published by Disney Lucasfilm Press and has got fans all riled up since they think the Jedi's true sexuality may have been revealed in a vague conversation about him thinking about smooches. Keep watching to find out what we know about the fictional character's sexual preferences. First, we need to know what this book is all about. Disney Books describes the story of Padawan as one with romantic complications, shocking revelations, and a rising threat to the planet and Kenobi's new companions. It'll bring him to face his biggest nightmare, that maybe he wasn't meant to be a Jedi after all. As if being a teenager wasn't hard enough, imagine training to be a whole Jedi as well. With all those hormones? No way. So, how was the Jedi's sexuality hinted at? Star Wars fans are left debating with each other about what they think their favorite Jedi's sexual preferences may be. Is he gay? Maybe bisexual? What about asexual or aromantic? Well, the fact is, we don't know for sure yet, but there is definitely something going on. Every Jedi must seek to find their own sense of balance, which for most means facing the tough challenge of love against attachment. Casul, a notable Star Wars author, said that Jedi recognize the value of connection, but stand firmly against the possessiveness of attachment. He went on to say that he believes it isn't difficult for Jedi to love. They just have to do it without being controlling and without the fear of losing their loved ones. Honestly, same. We should all be applying this principle to our love lives, and maybe that would cut most of the drama. The author also noted that this is something the Jedi would be good at, but the Sith, not so much. But there's one example of a certain Jedi not being up to the challenge. Yep, you probably guessed it. The most obvious one is Anakin Skywalker, of course. The Jedi failed resistance and fell victim to the allure of attachment and had a fear of losing them. If you remember, by the end of Clone Wars, the poor guy was split between his competing affections for his wife Padme Amidala and the very Jedi Order. You must also remember that, sadly, he lost both. But don't be fooled. You have to remember that our very own Obi-Wan suffered from attachments issues too. In recent novels, you might have read about how he was kind of aware of Anakin's love life since Clone Wars began, and yet he chose to turn a blind eye to it in honor of his own unlawful attachment to his ex-Padawan. And now, the ships are sailing in. As with any fandom, there will always be Star Wars fans who enjoy shipping the series characters. Popular ships involving Obi-Wan Kenobi aren't uncommon to us. In fact, there are many cases in which fan fictions give the hero a love life with an added LGBTQ+ dimension. Writers and readers are both keen on seeing traces of their own lives in their cherished galaxy far, far away. Even so, a Star Wars novel has sparked debate over whether the Jedi is canonically bi, pan, asexual, or aromantic. Now, let's talk about why exactly this has become a topic of debate among the Star Wars fandoms. The novel, written by New York Times bestselling author, takes place at the point in time where Obi-Wan was just about to become a Padawan to Qui-Gon Jinn. It's a fascinating insight at the young Obi-Wan, displaying all his fears and worries, his doubts and desires, as he ventures on a solo mission to the planet Lanara. There, he meets a group of teens who are trying so hard to survive in a hostile world, and soon enough, he's out there bonding with them. The young Padawan ponders his sexuality after a, in our opinion, somewhat spicy conversation with a teenage boy named Casul. Now, if you haven't already read it, we know you must be wondering what could have possibly been said to stir up all this debate. Well, continue watching and you'll find out. Spoiler alert, it has something to do with kissing. Let's talk about the little dirty dialogue between the two. Okay, let's get down to business. So basically, Casul and Kenobi are talking, just like buds do. That's when Casul brings up the topic of love. He admits to his friend that he doesn't think it's in his future to find any, but as long as he can keep his family safe, he's okay with that. But he also says that he still wants to know more about kissing and what the hype is about. And turning to Obi-Wan, he goes, "If you're ever curious too, let me know, wink wink. We only wish we were as smooth as that as teenagers." But that's not all. After hearing this, the little Obi turns red, all flustered. He tells him he'll let him know, but not that he'll do it right now, or with him, or with anyone. Not so smooth. This is when the author narrates what's going on inside the young one's head. He wonders if he would ever get to the point where kissing someone didn't feel like disloyalty to himself and the Jedi. And who would he want to kiss if he ever got to that point? The Lenarons radiated confidence and charisma, which was kind of hot, but he couldn't see himself just kissing any of them, but maybe he wanted to kiss all of them. Yeah, so that just happened. Now we hope you get why this was such a big deal, especially since Star Wars has had trouble with LGBTQ+ representation in the past. This was a big step for them. Some readers believe this proves Obi-Wan is bi/pan+. Others have speculated that he could be considered asexual or aromantic, considering his struggle to imagine a relationship with them. There were also reflections on his awareness that some fellow Padawans had shared a level of physical intimacy he didn't seem interested in. So, does this book confirm his sexuality? The simple answer would be no. We aren't sure whether Kenobi is gay, straight, bisexual, or asexual. Of course, the passage in question isn't about sexuality. Instead, the confused teen is questioning his position in the Jedi Order, and for the first time, he starts to realize that the Jedi Code has shut off some opportunities in his life. He appears to consider kissing Casul at one point in the book, but he doesn't linger on the idea for long, as his thoughts quickly shift to other matters. A stray thought in a teenager's mind doesn't automatically make them bisexual or pansexual. Surprisingly, no Star Wars tie-in has ever explored the time Obi-Wan spent with Duchess Satine of Mandalore. Even so, the fact that Obi-Wan was still a Padawan suggests that it must have happened soon after White's novel. It's possible that the trending conversation prompted him to begin thinking about his sexuality, which led directly to him becoming aware of an attraction to the Duchess. Some argue that his attraction to Satine excludes him from being asexual or aromantic, but this argument would be flawed because an asexual person can still experience romantic attraction, while an aromantic person can experience love and affection. It's more nuanced than that. Hopefully, his sexual identity will be explored further in newer books. We're definitely looking forward to it. In other related news, Obi-Wan Kenobi made Han Solo's intro even better. In the original Star Wars trilogy, the show set up many interesting character arcs, but one of the most subtle was the way that it set up the old Jedi's relationship with Han Solo. The iconic character has become one of the most adored figures in the entire franchise, since he sprung onto the scene in a seedy Mos Eisley cantina. While his linkage to Obi-Wan, Luke, and the Rebel Alliance was unintentional, Kenobi's reaction to the daring scoundrel was foreshadowed by his excursions in the Disney Plus series. Also, he wasn't always a good guy. Han Solo was a criminal before he helped Kenobi and Skywalker escape the Imperial forces on Tatooine. As proven by his rocky relationship with Jabba the Hutt, the smuggler often broke the law, putting him at odds with authority figures and his dangerous paymasters. So how did Solo become trustworthy? Haja Astri, like Han Solo, is a black market operator who works as a conman in Dayu's criminal underworld. While claiming to be a Jedi, Haja offers help to those in need, including off-road transportation at a cost. Obi-Wan is initially disgusted by Haja's deception, but the Jedi eventually realizes that, despite his deception, Haja has a good soul. Although Haja and Han are overall very different, it's easy to see how Kenobi's willingness to trust Han Solo in A New Hope was influenced by his earlier interaction with the Dayu-based felon. So even though he's just in it for the money, at his core, he was worthy of trust, just like Haja was 10 years prior. That's a wrap for this video. What are your thoughts on Obi-Wan's sexuality? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See ya in the next one.